Welcome in, welcome back, everybody. John Kennedy here. No, not that John Kennedy, different John Kennedy. One that used to be apolitical, but I can't take it anymore. I have no political home. Before we get into this, I have neither one of these parties represents my values at all. I'm like right down the middle of sanity, and I see these two parties out here just outrageously unhealthy and bad for the country in different ways. So I have no right or left dog in this fight of what's going on. I just have thoughts on it. So I wanted to get that out of the way. I'm not a MAGA guy. I'm not a lefty. Neither one of these parties represent my views and values at all. They've lost their way. But let's get into this. What I want to get into right now is the concept the left is pushing of democracy being on the ballot, democracy being on the line. You hear that all the time. And it's like, never mind your worries about Biden might die on stage in a debate. This is about beating Donald Trump because democracy's on the line. Well, now, wait a second. Wait a second. If you really believe that, and that is the line they're using, notice in the post-debate media and all the things these congressional people are doing, they're not talking about how great Biden is. I hear a lot of them talking about we got to stop Trump. Here's the issue. If you really felt like democracy was on the line, you should make sure you have a candidate whose brain works. It's kind of important to the American people that the president can think and speak. If democracy's really on the line, don't you think it's important to have the absolute strongest candidate possible to go up against Trump if he's that big of a threat? If he's really an existential threat to the United States, don't you think it's important you find the best candidate to beat him? I find it real ironic when the left tells me democracy's on the line, but you didn't even hold real primaries. You shut it all down, push Biden through, no debates. I didn't see a bunch of people up there debating their ideas, and then the American people could pick. We want Biden to keep going even though he's getting old, or we like what one of these younger, more energetic candidates saying. They didn't do that. They did everything they could to shut all those primary procedures down and push Biden through with no pushback. Where were the debates that come with an actual primary? Where were those debates with 4 or 5 of these other younger candidates up there, either with or without Joe Biden? They didn't even do them without Biden. Like, I know Trump didn't do his on the other side, probably a smart strategic move given the amount he was winning by. All they could probably do is hurt him. But for Biden, when you had all these questions about is he too old or whatever, what we're doing with this party, you can't tell me democracy's on the line and not hold a real fair primary with debates where all these people could lay out their ideas for the country and then we all get to vote on which ones we like or stick with Biden. They did not allow that. They did not allow that. So it is not true when these people are getting on these news shows on CNN or whatever, and they're saying, you know, the people elected, the people want Biden back, and the primary showed that he's our guy we need to stick with. No. You didn't allow a real, true primary with debates and robust platforms for the people to decide if they wanted something new and a younger message. They blocked that. That's not democracy. That's a power grab. And we're not stupid, and we see it. The reality is, whether it's right or wrong, justified or not, the president is the face of the United States and to a lot of people of the free world. How he presents matters. Pale, old, weak, frail, confused, stumbling over his words, stumbling over his legs, that all matters. It all matters. You may think that's shallow, or you got to look at the legislation and not how the guy presents or whatever. You could say all that, but you know deep down in your heart, that guy's image is what represents the United States around the world. And Americans want a strong-looking leader. Even if you're a Biden supporter, you hate Trump. But I don't like Trump. I'm not a Trumper. Even if you're a Biden supporter and you hate Trump or whatever, you got to admit, this ain't good. And this guy instills no confidence whatsoever when he's speaking or walking or doing anything. No confidence. None. What does the rest of the world think when they look at that? And then you could say, well, what does the rest of the world think when they see Trump and all of his lies and all the legal trouble and everything? Yeah, both parties are doing a terrible job. But in this debate, one guy was able to speak and the other one was not. And before you get in a substantive debate about policies and this and that and all that, you got to be able to just be alive first before we can compare Trump's lies compared to this and all that. You never got that far. You never got that far. You know, Trump lied. They said 27 to 30 times he lied in the debate. And I see a lot of the left-leaning people going, why isn't that talked about more or whatever? I'm going to tell you why. Why is it all about Biden when Trump lied 30 times? I'll tell you why. To even lie that many times and keep up with your lies in your brain requires a functioning brain. Right? Like, to lie, you got to be able to think of the lie and put it all together and then make it sound believable and then put it out into your brain and into your mouth and then out into the ether and then whatever. Like, it takes mental acuity to keep that many lies straight. And I know that's a messed up bar, but I'm just saying, when the other guy couldn't speak, you never get far enough through this to get to the substantive debate part. When one guy can't even speak, then you don't even get far enough to talk about all the lies. That's why it's not being talked about. You didn't even get that far. What a nightmare. What an absolute nightmare. But don't gaslight me and tell me democracy's on the line, most important election of all time, and your guy can't speak, can't think, can't walk. And that's who you're telling us is the best guy to go against this existential threat? It makes no logical sense. What do you think?